Melody's movement didn't just stay in Huntsville. It started spreading far beyond. Her podcast, Unfinished Hearts, became a safe place for women to share their pain, healing, and stories that often stayed hidden behind closed doors. Every episode opened with her calm voice, and every story carried a message of hope. People said listening to Melody felt like sitting with an old friend who finally understood your pain without judgment. Through her podcast, she didn't talk about fame or revenge or who was right or wrong. Instead, she talked about peace, forgiveness, and how to find yourself again after losing everything. Each week, she shared stories of women who rebuilt their lives after betrayal, heartbreak, and failure. And the message was always the same: healing takes time, but it's worth it. Meanwhile, Martell was trying to change his path. For years, people had only seen him as the man who broke his family apart. But after the reunion, something changed in him. The same man who once lived for fame and power started showing a softer side. His live sessions became less defensive, more honest. He started talking about fatherhood, mistakes, and what it means to take responsibility. In one of his live videos, Martell said something that caught everyone's attention. He said, "For a long time, I wanted to win the argument. Now, I just want to win my peace." That one sentence made many people see him differently. Maybe he wasn't perfect, but at least he was trying. He started a foundation called Holt Future Builders, focused on helping children of single parents get scholarships for school and sports. He said he wanted to give those children the chances he wished his own could have. Maybe he wasn't perfect, but at least he was trying. He started a foundation called Holt Future Builders, focused on helping children of single parents get scholarships for school and sports. He said he wanted to give those children the chances he wished his own could have: a stable, loving environment. Many people supported his idea, while others doubted his intentions. But Martell didn't argue this time. He said, "You don't have to believe me. Just watch what I do." As the months passed, things began to shift in Huntsville. The same city that had once been filled with gossip and judgment now felt quieter. People started talking less about Melody and Martell's fights and more about their growth. The producers of OWN Network saw this transformation and decided to end the show Love and Marriage Huntsville with a final special called The Healing Season. Unlike the earlier seasons, this one wasn't filled with shouting or secrets. It was about rebuilding, forgiveness, and what comes after the truth is spoken. The show followed both Melody and Martell separately, showing how each of them was trying to live a new life beyond the cameras. Melody was shown building Empower Studios, working with women, hosting events, and mentoring others. She had found purpose in her pain. Martell's story was different. He was seen spending time with his children, helping them with homework, cooking breakfast, going to school events. The man who once seemed lost now looked like a father trying his best. There were moments of silence, moments of emotion, and moments where he simply sat alone reflecting. And through those quiet moments, people could see change, not forced, but real. Then came the most unexpected part of the season, a reunion, not planned as a drama, but as a closure. Melody and Martell were invited to sit together one last time. This time, there were no producers directing the questions, no audience waiting for a fight. Just two people who once loved each other deeply, now sitting in silence, ready to let go of the past. When Melody walked in, she wore a simple white dress. Martell was in a plain black suit. They didn't speak for a while, just looked at each other. And then Melody said quietly, "I forgive you." Martell didn't look up immediately, but when he did, his eyes were wet. He said, "And I promise I'll never pull you back into the past." It was simple, honest, and powerful. There were no dramatic lines, no music, no applause. just two people finally freeing themselves. And sometimes that's all healing needs, not words, but peace. When the episode aired, it became one of the most watched specials in Owen's history. Viewers across the country wrote messages saying they cried, they healed, they understood. It wasn't just about Melody and Martell anymore. It was about every person who has loved, lost, and learned to rise again. A few weeks later, Melody appeared again on social media. She stood by the sea, waves crashing behind her, sunlight touching her face. She said, "For years, I was scared of silence. But now I understand, silence is where peace begins." That video alone reached millions of views within hours. Her fans flooded the comments saying that she had given words to their pain. They called her the voice of strength, the face of healing, the woman who turned her heartbreak into hope. Melody had become more than a celebrity. She had become a symbol. Around the same time, Martell also did something no one expected. He shared a handwritten letter on his Instagram. It wasn't long, just a few lines. He wrote, "If I ever hurt you, I hope life brings you peace. I am still learning, still growing, still healing. But I am grateful because sometimes losing everything teaches you what truly matters." For the first time, people saw humility in his words. He wasn't the man trying to prove himself anymore. He was the man trying to become better. Even Melody's fans, who once criticized him harshly, admitted that maybe this was his turning point. Then came the premiere of Melody's podcast, Unfinished Hearts. The first episode opened with a line that left everyone speechless. She said, "We are all unfinished." And that's beautiful, because unfinished hearts still have room to grow. Her voice was soft, emotional, and full of meaning. Through her show, Melody started featuring women from different walks of life, single mothers, businesswomen, survivors, all sharing how they rebuilt after being broken. The podcast wasn't about gossip or fame. It was about truth and transformation. Within months, it became one of the most popular shows in its category. At Empower Studios, women gathered for workshops, training sessions, and motivational talks. The building's entrance had a big sign, "Built from Pain, Powered by Purpose." People came from different states just to take photos there and say, "This is where healing begins." As for Martell, he kept working quietly. He didn't appear much on TV anymore, but he stayed active with his foundation. He started speaking at local schools, talking to young men about respect, mistakes, and learning from failure. Teachers said students listened to him with full attention because he spoke from experience, not from a place of pride, but from regret and reflection. And even though Melody and Martell had gone separate ways, their journeys stayed connected. They both had become examples of how pain can turn into power if you choose healing over hate. In the final scene of the healing season, there was no dramatic ending, just a quiet moment. Melody was sitting in her new studio, writing in her journal. Martell was at a park watching his children play. The screen faded to black with the words, "Love doesn't always end in forever, but healing lasts." And that's the truth behind Huntsville's most shocking reunion. It wasn't just about two people confronting their past. It was about showing the world that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's freedom. Melody found her voice. Martell found his lesson. And together, they gave the world something rare: closure. The city of Huntsville will always remember them, not just for the drama or fame, but for showing that even when love breaks, it doesn't have to destroy you. Sometimes broken things become the most beautiful stories of all. So if you've ever loved and lost, if you've ever cried and still smiled through it, remember this: you are not broken. You are becoming. And like Melody said, we are all unfinished hearts still learning to beat stronger.